So this is the part where I'm obviously lying to you, but the conclusion that you're going to reach from what I'm telling you is the correct one. I have to lie to you because I can't tell it to you any other way, okay? What if,
Lie to me, Shumi.
what if there is a part of the certification procedure that cannot be met unless your suspension is this kind of setup? And therefore, whether they are aware of the problem, not aware of the problem, they know that this is going to be an issue, not going to be an issue, the only way they'll get that certification is to have a suspension setup that's stiff. Which then begs the question, why is a company this large and this well off not able to do anything other than globalized suspension setups?
Okay, don't lie to me, Shumi. Can you just say what it is? For me, the thought was that it would be 8-10,000 bucks more. And my argument was, hey man, put in another 20-25K and give it proper suspension. And then I've got like this thing going on for the bike then.
But I think that is still doable.
But they've not done it.
No, you can do it. No, you buy the cheap one. You buy the cheapest Bear. That's 338. And then you put 25,000. So by the time you get to the...
What suspension will you put?
YSS.
My point is, what are they doing?
Who?
It's not a custom shop, no?
Thank you for asking what Royal Enfield is doing with the suspension, because I have a theory.
Okay, go.
So Royal Enfield used to develop their motorcycles in Chennai before the UKTC, the United Kingdom Technical Center, happened. And those suspension units were whatever they were. They were reasonably good. And they fit our country. Then they went to the UKTC and they were using Bruntingthorpe as the development ground, which is the airfield associated with the building as it were. And they would take time from there and whatever. I understand that Bruntingthorpe became quite busy because somebody who does used vehicles or leased vehicles or something like that started to use that as a parking lot. Okay. And they were paying more to park than for the testing. Okay. So it became more and more difficult for them to use it. So they were looking for other places to do the testing. During this phase also, the motorcycles were primarily being developed at UK and India. And I think the suspension setups worked. Were they awesome at this point? No. But I think the Interceptor, for example, comes from this duration. Then at some point, they started going to a place called IDIADA in Spain, which is a proving ground, which is a certification agency, etc. Royal Enfield claims to have a small office there, which they do. Effectively, it's a garage out of which the engineers can work so that as the prototypes are being cycled through and testing is happening, logging those data, fixing what's broken, updating new equipment and sending them out for testing, all of that happens out of that little garage office. And IDIADA is next door, so you can go and finish testing and certification process there. It's since the IDIADA talk started that these super stiff setups have started to happen too. The exception is the Himalayan. Because the Himalayan is part of the Spanish...
I've got an IDIADA story for you as well.
One second. The Himalayan is part of the Spanish cycle, but the Himalayan has enormous suspension travel. If you have that much suspension travel and then get it wrong, then you should just stop. Suspension is beyond my capacity. I need to outsource this.
You know what? First and foremost, UK does not have good roads anymore. Neither does the US. They're all suffering with infrastructure that's failing. And last time also that I was in UK, I was surprised that you were going through potholes and stuff. And even if your roads are great, it's your job to factor in bad roads. And there's no two ways about that.
Kartik, your argument is moot.
Why?
94% of their bikes are sold here. What difference does it make what the other 6% does?
Exactly. I mean, the IDIADA test track has, that's why I said I have an IDIADA story for you as well. The test track has different surfaces for you to go and do this. They have specially designed sections which have speed breakers and potholes and all of that, which are not as bad as our potholes. But the point is they're there.
Okay, so this is the part where I'm obviously lying to you, but the conclusion that you're going to reach from what I'm telling you is the correct one. I have to lie to you because I can't tell it to you any other way, okay? What if...
Lie to me, Shumi.
What if there is a part of the certification procedure that cannot be met unless your suspension is this kind of setup? And therefore, whether they are aware of the problem, not aware of the problem, they know that this is going to be an issue, not going to be an issue, the only way they'll get that certification is to have a suspension setup that's stiff. Which then begs the question, why is a company this large and this well off not able to do anything other than globalized suspension setups?
Okay, don't lie to me, Shumi. Can you just say what it is?
What if there is a certification clause in there that only passes bikes when they do stuff like this? And if it's on a budget, if the suspension's on a budget and you have a time constraint, etc., then this is the fastest way to get through it.
You're talking about internal?
I'm just lying to you the whole time. I am not saying anything at all. And it gets worse. I will also tell you this. I met Claudio Domenicali, Ducati, and I asked him, why do you insist on selling radar in India? He says, what's wrong with radar in India? I said, the radar doesn't work in India. So my non-radar Ducati Multistrada 1200 had cruise control, which on the way to Bengaluru, which is 1,000 kilometers of reasonably empty traffic in daylight, I would use a lot. But with the radar, because the calibrations don't work, I can't actually use radar, and therefore now I've lost the ability to use cruise control. Why wouldn't you sell me the top model with the electronic suspension, which I so love? Why wouldn't you sell it to me in India without radar? Or why wouldn't you do an India calibration? And Claudio said, Ducati only makes global spec motorcycles. We don't do regional specialization. The factory may have the option of supplying radar or non-radar electronic suspension models. I am not aware of the details. But is there a India-specific radar calibration? There isn't. Is there an India-specific suspension? There isn't. And the only thing they would do for Southeast Asia is the low accessory seat would be the standard seat in Asia, and you'd buy the middle and high as accessories. Whereas in Europe, the middle would be the standard seat. You'd buy the low or high as accessories. This is the amount of market-specific customization that Ducati, for example, is willing to do. And I'm increasingly willing to believe that Royal Enfield has an enormous ambition to be a globally massive, relevant player. But after all these years of effort, 90% of their products are still being sold in India. But if they need to be seen as a global manufacturer, one of the trade-offs they've made is they're looking for this certification. Again, of course, I'm lying to you. They're looking for this certification. And this certification leads to this result, which is suboptimal for 90% of their customers, but they don't seem to have a choice about it. That is a clip from MotorInc. And what that means is if you'd like to see more of these, you can do two things. One is stay on this channel, subscribe and watch more, or you can come to the main MotorInc channel where you'll find a much longer video that discusses this idea in a lot more detail.